Hello, welcome back to TechnoPoverty, where we use video games as an excuse to talk about books, and books as an excuse to talk about video games. I'm Henry.
I'm Jacob.
And honestly, we throw movies in there too. We don't do movies here on the stream, but we have started streaming them on the Discord. We watched Flesh and Blood this past weekend, the Paul Verhoeven 1985, I don't want to call it fantasy, it's more like medieval, grim, dark, pain. Wikipedia has romance as a descriptor of its title. I don't quite understand. Oh. Sorry about that, chat. There's a ghost in the machine today. I guess because we left Capcom, there's some sort of technical grievance that's going on. As you notice, we don't have our usual on-screen chat, but we are looking at your messages and still interacting with you on our end. We just, for some reason, the overlay wasn't working. Apologies about that. We won't be able to save that. It's not burned into the video as it usually is, so it won't be saved for posterity, but we'll do our best to read what you say and respond to it. That's what we do here at TechnoPoverty, once again, is we bounce books and games off each other while talking just pop culture, art, the humanities. We just see what ideas come to mind as we play. I think play is a very important part of the human experience, and we're living in a time where everything seeks to deprive us of play. So yeah, we have a stack of stuff here that I'm going to talk about as we progress through the game tonight.
Yeah, dang.
It's just a few things. So tonight we're playing Sword of the Berserk, Guts Rage, 1999, Sega Dreamcast, early 3D action genre experiment. I like it because it's a character action game similar to something like Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden Black, but a generation earlier, and it's more refined in some ways than I think something like Devil May Cry 1 and 2 are, but I'll talk more about that as we play the game. Let me just bring up some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. I have Kubrick's Barry Lyndon here. This is one of... This is not 2001: Space Odyssey. This is not a Clockwork Orange. It's pretty well known these days, thanks to 21 Savage's A Lot remix that goes around social media, which I love. If you haven't checked it out, just punch in 21 Savage X or cross Barry Lyndon. See what you find on the internet. There's good stuff out there. But this movie is about the life of an Irish scalawag. He kind of wanders about the European continent, joining armies, running away, just sort of ascending through deceit and his wit and just circumstance and coincidence. He's able to kind of climb the social ladder in, I think it's France, if I'm remembering correctly, although he goes a couple places. It's a rise and fall story, but it's a very humanist one. It's less romantic and more about the systems of power and greed that Barry's able to exploit and take advantage of, because despite like the appearances of polite society, there's a lot of guile and kind of counterfuge, and if you're a rogue, you can climb pretty high. But you can also crash pretty hard. Barry Lyndon, very good. We're talking about in association with Berserk in terms of, I guess we could say Griffith's ascent, his dream, his want for more. And for those unfamiliar with Berserk, I'm talking about the leader of the Band of the Hawk, who we'll talk about more as we play the game. But I mentioned the Band of the Hawk, which is also why I bring up Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, which is about a boy who hangs out with a band of soldiers turned mercenaries as they go through the Southwest in the 1800s and get into some bad stuff, which is very similar to some of the premise of Berserk. Lone Wolf and Cub, on the other hand, this may be familiar to those of you who, I think I'm thinking in very like 90s terms still, as far as like, do people know these things? Like, anime is mainstream now. Hopefully, if you don't know about Lone Wolf and Cub, it had an American release originally as Shogun Assassin. It's about Ito, I was going to say Ogami Ito or Ito Ogami. It's probably right here on the back of the box. But he was the shogun's executioner until he fell out of favor and was betrayed, and now he wanders around as an assassin for hire. And he's on the path of the demon way, which Berserk deals with in the sense that there's demons in Berserk. People can become demons. I think there's an underlying Shintoism and the concept of Shura or Ashura going down. I should have also mentioned Sekiro Shadows Die Twice would be a good game to talk about, Lone Wolf and Cub 2. But that's getting more into the spiritual side of Berserk, whereas the other stuff I was talking about, it's more, I don't want to say superficial, but more there's direct one-to-one analogs. Lone Wolf and Cub, it's more about similar ideas on spirituality and like what you're sacrificing on the road to revenge. Speaking of revenge, that's why I have the Count of Monte Cristo right here, which is kind of the book about revenge. So you can see it's like 1,500 pages. It was originally a serialized adventure. Often bastardized in its film and TV adaptations, although from what I understand last year there was a pretty good adaptation that came out we should probably check out.
Oh, okay.
It was like a big French blockbuster version. I think it's up on Netflix or something. But I have a copy. Since we've been doing the TechnoPoverty Theater, in which we watch Flesh and Blood, also related to Berserk, we've been screening movies, and I think The Count of Monte Cristo might be next after Freddy Got Fingered, which, if you're here Sunday, or if you're available Sunday, and you hop on the TechnoPoverty Discord, we're going to be watching Freddy Got Fingered. It has a lot to say about hero narratives and masculinity, and I think it's gonna add a bit of... it's a nice postscript to what we were talking about during Maximo and Ghost and Goblins. And here is Berserk itself. This is Volume 8 of the Deluxe Edition. The reason I picked Volume 8 in particular is because for those of you that are familiar with Berserk, but maybe not the games, there are 3 games that I'm aware of. There is this Dreamcast one, there's a PlayStation 2 one, and then there's a PS4 one that's in the vein of like a Dynasty Warriors-like. The other 2 games are just reinterpretations of the manga. They're just regurgitating what's already been written. The reason I like this one, well, one of the reasons I like this one more than the other 2, despite it being clunkier and earlier, is it is an original story, which Kentaro Miura wrote. He's credited as the writer on this, and it is canon. It takes place between, I forget the specific numbers of the chapters, but in Deluxe Edition Volume 8, after, spoilers, Griffith has returned to his physical human form and is like going around conquesting Earth. This is right after the Conviction arc. Right before Guts teams up with the party members for the second half of the manga that become his friends and companions. He's still just alone wandering with Casca, but he does know Griffith's around, and he also knows that this is after the sword graveyard, so the cave's been destroyed. Him and Casca have to wander, but this is before they encounter like the snow people and run back into like Furness and Serpico, and But yeah, so I bring it up because I find it very interesting that the game fits pretty nicely into the middle of the manga. I highly suggest, so I'm calling this Sword of the Berserk Guts Rage in the descriptions and such because that's the Dreamcast US name. If you see behind me, and soon when I pull it up on screen, the title screen says Berserk, Millennium Falcon Arc, Flowers of Oblivion Chapter. In fact, I'll get to that in just a moment. Let me just bring up the last thing. It's called Something is Killing the Children. It's a very, very fun comic from Image I recently got into about a woman who hunts monsters and saves kids. Very much in the same vein as our hero Guts of Berserk, who, is on a quest to kill disciples. And, we'll talk more about what Berserk is actually about beyond its plot as we're playing the game. Without further ado, let's pull up this title screen and let's turn the music on. So when this game first came out, it was the first thing in America that bore like the Berserk name. This is the first time anyone in America saw anything Berserk related, was when the Dreamcast version of this game came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so the original game was translated and sort of chopped up in translation to be more standalone. What we're playing here, the reason it's called the Millennium Falcon Arc, Flowers of the Oblivion Chapter, is this is a retranslation that fans did. Damn, I really should have remembered the name. I will note that in the description, but fans did a retranslation more in line with the original text. which, having like read Berserk now, it's stateside in its entirety. You can enter with context. You don't need the old Dreamcast version with the weird writing. They just straight up call him Gatsu in the English voice acting. It's pretty funny. But presentationally, this game's pretty great. It has the same guy who did the music to the 1997 anime doing the music here. Something I really like about this game is it's very cinematic and very presentational. We're going to be watching a lot of cutscenes tonight, and just respect that. There's also going to be subs, so without further ado, we're starting. Oh.
完全にイカれちまってるな。
ああ、ついてないわね。こんなとこで故障なんて。
リッタ、文句言ってねえでお前も手伝え。
仕方ないね。一宿一般の恩ってね。ヨブ、あんたも手伝いなよ。力は人一倍なんだから。何
Just bandits.
修理なら俺たちも手伝ってやる。ただし金はたんまりいただくわね。
なかなかいい娘じゃねえか。こいつは高く売れるぜ。
触んないで。誰があんたたちなんかに。
おい、なんだてめえは。
D-Hammerman, I just wouldn't trust the internet for shoes. Like, I'm too finicky about size.
でもよ、よく見りゃ結構いい女じゃねえか。
Who's this mysterious girl?
笑っちまおうぜ。
そうだ。おい、こっちへ来い。誰だ。
You shouldn't have done that.
There's our boy.
てめえ、邪魔する気か。
やめとけよ。
なんだこいつ。バカでけえもんぶら下げやがって。
Yeah.
構わねえ。あいつからぶっ殺せ。
Alright, time to wail on dudes with my big sword. So right off the bat, there's like this fun chunky combat system. You can block and sidestep and dodge. And of course, you know, that's as if you have a sword, you get to swing the big sword. Now, I find it interesting you can put up the sword and punch me. Like you can put the sword on your back. Yeah. And see, you can use his little arm bow. It's like a fun showcase of his arsenal, and it really translates well from like the page. But then yeah, you can pull your sword back out. And yeah, this is a Dreamcast era.
Like, this looks incredible.
Yeah. And so you can block, but you can also like slide. Actually, the first time I played this, I didn't realize blocking, you just stand still and hit the button, sliding and moving hit the button. I thought it was just the slide. I didn't realize you can block like half of it. Which makes a huge difference.
That's impressive.
And yeah, when you hit some thresholds, you go berserk. Guts gets mad.
Man, well, we did it. We went berserk. Also 3256. I got boots over the internet because they didn't sell the one, so I needed the storage and I had a size too big. I just slide a little too much. Answer for that? 2 pairs of socks.
Stuffing. Do some stuffing. No one knows.
I mean, it sucks in the summertime. Don't get me wrong, but you know.
All right,
older
we
one.
saved this circus lady from those bandits, and also Casca.
ありがとうございました。
Mr. Swordsman.
Yeah, they don't know who he is.
いったらいいか。
And here comes Puck, our fairy friend.
人がお礼言ってんだからちゃんと
Make it as a
聞いてやれって
jaybird.
の。
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable. Just a little.
Just a little bit.
どうしようがいいな。 何その虫。
I just love the contrast of like brutal blood and guts being sprayed everywhere to this little whimsical fairy.
Yeah, that's actually a huge intentional contrast within the text.
Like, it's beautiful.
Like, through all the horrible shit, like, Guts does still have some sort of soul, like, he can still see magic. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Because not everybody can see the fairies, but, like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Man, yeah, I really need to go through these. That's when we should make up the headset and I'll go through Berserk. Read it.
I've never played with the samurai.
あんな女の人連れてるなんて。
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with Way of the Samurai.
ごめんごめん気に障
But
った
yeah, so Guts is bothered. He doesn't want to say what happened to them. But clearly something horrible happened to these two. They're all beat up and
馬
weird.
車も直ったし、
Yeah.
すぐ出発するぞ。
And when we were playing Maxima, we talked a lot about George R. R. Martin's infatuation with survivors. Berserk also centers around that conceptually, but I think in a way I like a bit more.
街には立ち寄るんだろ。
おい、何してる？
はーい。あ、それからありがとう。助けてくれて。それじゃ。
よーし、出発。
Off to town we go.
あんな子が一人で
Yeah.
おいキャスカどこへ行く気だ。
あの子の芸見たいんじゃないの？街はすぐそこだし見せてあげたら。
バーカんなことしてる暇俺たちにはねえんだよ。
でもさ、たまには息抜きも必要だよ。ちっとは旅を楽しむくらいの余裕っつうのがないと。ねえねえ、いいじゃんかよ。見してあげようよ。見ようよ、見よう。
Again, this is very much of the manga though, the way Puck's changing form.
どっちにしろ食料やら手に入れなきゃならねえからな。
やったー！キャスカ、喜べ。オッケーだってさ。
Oh no, his brand.
ほんのわずかだったな。間違いねえ。あれは。
So for those unfamiliar with Berserk, Guts and Casca were offered up as sacrifice as part of their friend's ascent to demonhood, along with the rest of the band of the Hawk, which their friend Griffith led.
That's rough.
Yeah. Guts and Casca barely survived thanks to some supernatural intervention, but now they're both marked with the brand of sacrifice, which bleeds whenever demons are near and is constantly drawing demons near them. Casca's mind was basically destroyed by what Griffith did during the eclipse. It's extremely horrible. I don't need to go in graphic detail about what happened. And so Guts is now on a quest to figure out how to restore her sanity. This is all coming after an arc within the manga where he realized how angry he had been in his pursuit of revenge, and he had been leaving Casca. He was leaving her in a cave and going out and just killing disciples and being an angry boy while killing disciples of the demons. And he almost lost Casca as a result of that, because while he was out, she wandered off, and there was a local religious zealot who thought she was a witch and they were going to burn her at the stake. So he's kind of recommitted at this point. He's shifted from being about revenge to being about how he's going to protect Casca and heal her. Which is a pivotal point in the Berserk manga, because it's post-Eclipse, post-Lost Children arc. It's a shift away from kind of the edgy, grimdark cynicism of the beginning, which is not bad.
あ、やってるやってる。
It's just, I know a lot of people sometimes check out after the eclipse or don't want to read all of Berserk and don't realize there's this kind of shift in the back half. Similar to our talk about A Song of Ice and Fire having more magic in the text itself that the show left out, and there being a clear turn
次は本
towards
日一番の出し物だ。
something more colorful than what the show was doing. And I bring this all up because I think what Guts kind of learns over the course of this story fits pretty nicely into his arc within the overall manga. Oh
マンド
no.
ラドラドラ何
化け物め町から出てけ
やめてよこの子が何したってのさ
うるさいマンドラから尽きたか分かったらほっとくわけにはいかんさっさと町から出てけ
Oh no. Oh no.
なんだよこいつダメよ
Hey man. Oh, you know what? The controller fell asleep during all that. I will have to keep note of that.
Yeah,
We are playing with technology. Ooh. So, I haven't done it yet, but also, yeah, similar. So Guts has more armaments I wasn't using in the opening level. For instance, something he's famously known for is his arm cannon, which we do have here and you can use. As you can see, I have charges though, so I have to be careful with it. Same with his bombs.
Game audio is louder than us.
Okay.
Thanks for the note. Appreciate it.
How is that?
Is that feeling good? Excellent.
Perfect. Yeah, I was wondering that because with the Mega Man and the Ghosts and Goblins mixes, I wasn't liking how low the games were. So I wanted to crank it up this time. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. Ooh. Ah. As you can see, I went berserk in arm cannons him. So that boss is kind of a check on if you understand the mechanics of the game. If you noticed, I had to kind of slide and dodge around him a bit more and do some jumping attacks and actually use the inventory.
Yeah.
This game does kind of throw you into the deep end pretty fast as far as like hoping you understand the language of it, but I think it does work.
何も殺すことなかったのに
化け物相手に手加減する件は知らね
違うノブは化け物なんかじゃ
And here he is, our golden boy.
Oh, I love those bands.
Some sort of local baron.
皆の者下がれこれより見聞を行う何人たりとも死体に触れること分かりならん
立ち傷お前かこいつをやったのは
ああ
私はバルザック
Balzac?
Man, there's a really cool Japanese punk band called Balzac. So I'm looking for the Misfits in the early 2000s.
Look at these camera movements.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I would watch this as a show, honestly. This is great.
Right. There's just more care put into this one than the other two games, which again are regurgitations of just like arcs already written.
Oh, gotcha.
Like they don't have the same care put into their cutscene storytelling either. They're very much just like, and then the thing that you know from the manga happened.
You remember, don't you?
どうだもしかしたら我が英術が力になれるやもしれぬぞ
なんだと
我々はマンドラゴラツキの治療法を研究した
Top men.
マンドラゴン
同種の病ならば治療に協力できるかもしれんそれに貴殿には礼もせねばならんその者と共に我が城に参られよ
いいぞ案内しろ
話は決まった
Surely the man with a private army is the good guy, right?
Absolutely.
These knights, all iced out, once again, abolish ice. Really fucked up what they can do to Mahmoud Khalil. I don't find any of this legitimate.
Yeah, everything's fucked up.
But perhaps through metaphors and art, we can articulate something more meaningful on the end. But for real, abolish ice.
Yeah, abolish it.
Fuck all this loss of due process shit. She has no due process here. I wonder if the local baron is deporting people to a penal colony or some sort of prison somewhere without much due process or any oversight.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Again, look at how much there's just cutscene. Cool chandeliers, dude. Yeah, right.
いや危険ゆえそなただけに来てもらいたい
心配すんな俺がしっかりガードしててやっから
何かあったらすぐに知らせろ
And today they said homegrown is next to be deported.
They're just letting them go down the list.
Like, man. Where to even begin?
I'm just thinking of candidates calling these people fascists, Nazis, that the nation was in crisis, that we're going to be losing the soul of the nation.
And then Obama and Trump are giggling at each other, kicking each other's feet at the fucking inauguration.
マンドラゴラツキの収容室だ先ほどの男のように突然暴れ出す恐れがあるため町から隔離しているのだ
Oh yeah, this seems like a really well-kept medical facility.
Yes. You don't want to tell people what we're doing, otherwise they'll get upset about what we're doing. That's good, yeah. That's probably a very good way to go about any business you're doing.
We're here at Normal Co. doing Normal Co. things.
Absolutely, it's Normal Co. It can't be bad, it's Normal Co.
マンドラゴラツキについて何かご存知かな。いや。数年前、領内のある村で奇妙な病が流行り始めた。ある日、突然村人
No, super not testing medical experiments on prisoners.
This does remind me, Flesh and Blood does have a scene involving a mandrake. Within that movie, they grow at the base of hanged persons. Allegedly, the magic is because when the man is hanged, he bursts. So there's semen mixed with the blood and stuff, and it all seeps into the soil beneath him while hanging. And so that's why the mandrake grows. And the two lovebirds in that movie split a mandrake because it's supposed to magically symbolize like they'll be together forever.
Gotcha. Yeah, Elogia's fruit. It definitely certainly bonds me with whoever I share it with.
Yeah.
You know, certainly.
Maybe just breaking bread with someone, the act itself is what's doing it more than any sort of magic within a root you pulled out from under a hanging site. Especially because the rest of that movie is so much like it's not a fantasy movie. See, here they know full well, like, oh yeah, mandrakes, don't pull them out, they'll scream your ears off. Like, everybody knows that. The mandrake didn't scream in Flesh and Blood. I think it was just a weird fucked up plant they pulled out from under a body.
That's right, King of Mystery. Nothing bad was ever normalized. It would never. It's bad.
So we need a mandrake core.
大樹となったマンドラゴラに存在し、切り離しても枯れることはなく、逆に少しずつ復元していく。この核から生成した薬ならば、マンドラゴラ付きを治療する。
I think I also just really like this guts model. This is probably my favorite form of guts throughout the story.
Yeah.
Which is a pain because I've been looking for Guts figures and all of them now are where he's like in the full berserker armor, and I don't want that one. I want Black Swordsman era.
The other day I was fucking around in VR chat and there was someone using this exact model as their little like avatar.
That's pretty tight.
I was like, that's a really fun use. You can be anything in the internet. This dude's voice.
He's voiced by a pretty well-known like character actor. I forget the exact dude, but like the Dreamcast voice cast is pretty legit. Like it's a bunch of dudes you recognize from like anime of the era.
Oh hell yeah, nice. Kendrick got that beef with Mandrake. It's true. God, that beef was so much fun to be a part of during the summer.
Yeah, what a good year.
It really was. It was such a fun thing to be a part of, to wake up every day and just be like, what's the new thing that's happening?
Look at this cinematography.
Yeah. Keep looking down here so I can see like the better, like the brightness. I'm like, whoa, what?
Can you do this thing I've been sending dudes to do and they just die?
You seem big and strong.
Yeah, you're big and strong. You're a big burly guy. I just walk about my little domain until I see big strong men that I cruise for dudes who can take the mandrake, and then I bring them back to my basement.
It's totally cool. You want to come hang out?
Yeah, Guts is like, this feels like bullshit.
I'll take you up on it. All right,
Anything for Costco.
Listen, man, that Kirkland signature really means a lot to everybody, everywhere. He gives your special speech to all of them. Oh, absolutely. Everyone's a little snowflake for him.
Hey, you want to go die for me? I know we just met, but I might have the cure to your lover's affliction.
Entirely possible. I also might not.
Oh, hey, it's the ICE agents.
Damn.
Oh.
Well, that's certainly a turn of events. This fucking guy.
I guess the locals are angry at their Baron, which seems cool. There's so many more of them than there is him. Oh no, a sister?
God, this is just getting stickier and stickier.
Oh, you just want me to go kill people. Got it.
あいにく聖職者ってのと相性が悪くて
This is right after Mozgus and all that, so he just killed like a crazy demon priest with wings. We have AI, sir. Yeah.
しかし何の話だ申し上げます。敵が城内に侵入しました。
何？
バカな。一体どうやって？
どうやら奴らの力を侮っていたようだ。申し訳ないが失礼する。
Yo, I'm just gonna leave you in my spooky basement. Peace.
You'll be fine here. They've only flooded the upper levels. You're fine.
Cool sound design, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Dudes to kill. Okay, so this is a tight space. Actually, this is something that kind of blew my mind the first time I played this game, that they considered this. This is a tight space. I want to put my sword up and punch dudes, because the sword's too big to use inside.
God, what a consideration.
Yeah, Philly man, it's right up there with like Metal Gear Solid from this generation as far as there just being cutscenes. The controller I'm using fell asleep during one set of cutscenes recently. So you can see it's a bit cumbersome. Yeah. You have to be kind of intentional with your strikes. So instead, yeah, I'm gonna put things up and, oh, fired off the wrong way. Well, now I'm just doing bad. Now I'm just like, what direction am I supposed to be in?
You're just getting fucked by these bad boys. Hey, rude.
Yeah, okay, let's first get out of the way and actually block some more. There we go.
That's more really good.
Look at that guy running away. Why is he running away?
He's terrified.
Also, when there's a large group, oh yeah, I kind of want to explore. So there's little side rooms you can explore as well, and there's usually extra pickups or things you can get for points. It's kind of arcadey in that way. Look at this little guy, what's he doing? Yeah, see there's like this box here, nothing there for now.
Yeah.
Just gut sword all day, yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking huge sword. You got the sword, you're gonna use the sword.
I do like the side armaments though, which I don't want to waste, but I do want to talk about just like, so I like the control scheme because right now, the face buttons are to jump, block, vertical swing, and horizontal swing. But then you hold down the trigger, and as you can see in the top corner there, the things light up. I thought this door was supposed to bust open. Did I miss something? Also, I went like double trigger mode, as you can see.
Just drop that boy in half.
Yeah. But so when I pull this trigger and those items light up, I can then my face buttons become those items. Yeah. Ouch.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Ghost of Tsushima has something kind of like that.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like in the Souls games how the D-pad becomes like an inventory thing, except instead of it being mapped to the D-pad, it's just you hold the trigger down and it just switches the context of the buttons. Cool. Let's go.
まさかキャスカに何か
連れてかれちゃったんだよ。変な奴らがなだれ込んできて。
Some weird guys. Just some weird guys. I'm a naked flying boy, and I think these guys were weird.
Yeah.
奴ら裏門の方に行ったぞ。こっちだ。
There is something, though, to the way magic works in Berserk in that not everybody can see it at first, but as the events progress, more and more people can until it's just invading the world. And I do like the way that the invasion of magic into the world of Berserk is not necessarily like a good thing.
Stream Boo! Best viewers on Stream Boo.
どこ行きやがった。
あれこの犬確かリタの。
どうした。
あいつキャスカの居場所を知ってるって。
Yeah. I'm going to be talking about all the Berserk tonight, by the way, for those who don't know. At least all the Miura stuff. I'm not sure if I'm caught up on the release chapters since then, although I think I'm only like one chapter behind, if so, or one release phase.
Go.
But yeah, because magic's not supposed to be part of the real world in Berserk. Like, it leaking in permits like demons and stuff to exist on our realm, and demons don't, they don't have our interest in it. This is something I find very interesting about how Griffiths attains his kingdom. As I said, this is right after Griffiths has found a new physical form and come back. And magic has started to leak into the world. As you can see, there's like, you know, the Mandragora is here being talked about. Ooh, yeah, there's a lot. Ooh, yeah, how did this happen? As you can see, you can knock arrows out of the way if you time it right with your sword, which I have not been doing.
So you land it.
But I should, because that's a pretty cool consideration. Again, pretty sophisticated for a Dreamcast game in that sense. Really, the weakest part is the camera. The camera's all fixed angles, but we talked about this during Maximum. We do like our fixed angles. We don't hate them. I think the encounter design pretty much accounts for the clunkiness of them too. I'm never fighting too many dudes at once, or if I am, it's because of my thing. Streets at night. Those in the chat who are watching, and well, I mean, why would you be in the chat not watching? I want to know people's progress on Berserk, as far as like where they've been. Have they read the whole thing? Have they read at least all the Miura stuff?
Yeah, anybody reading Berserk?
What level of spoiler are you willing to embrace? Because I am going to talk more as like elements come up in the story here.
Berserk always reminds me of Blade of the Immortal and vice versa. Something of the Immortal.
I've never checked out Blade of the Immortal.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
As you can see, I just used Fairy Dust to heal. I've been trying to be sparse about using it, but that is one of the items on the inventory there.
Just give that little fairy boy shake.
Yeah, you just
shake your twink.
Yeah, you just shake down your twink and he oils you up. And then you're good to go.
Oil / glitter.
Yeah, glitters you up, sparkles you up, keeps you guided, keeps you magical.
Berserk baby here, but I haven't read any, but okay with spoilers.
Okay.
Love that little dog too.
Yeah, so at the start of Berserk, like, demons are still operating in secret. Well, not the start. Like, the Black Swordsman arc, they're kind of less discreet about it. During the flashback era, the Golden Age. Ooh, let me bomb these guys.
These fucking dudes.
Really, I should be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder.
See, that felt very, very guts. And none of the other games, I think, deliver that kind of catharsis through Control, which is why this is the best one as far as, like, you feel like guts. It's like what I was talking about with the Capcom games, where the character action stuff, like, through Control, you feel, like, intimate with the character. Like, yeah. Get to know them. Look at them running away.
You can't run.
And blood, and guts, and blood, and guts. Is it this way? No. There we go. Oh, okay. It is not. There we go. It is not without its flaws, because it is still the first generation of 3D, but it is more coherent than Devil May Cry 3. I mean, 2. Devil May Cry 3 is extremely one of the most well-directed video games of all time. Oh, they're just dudes. Just dudes.
Get on.
Get my little double trigger going. They pulled it. They pulled my double trigger. There's the little doggy. Alright, we made it to the end of the level.
That's all we wanted.
And the reason I find that whole thing where like the demons are discreet at first, but then as the series goes on, magic seeps more and more into the world, and they can be less discreet, more open about their evil deeds. As I find it like an apt fantasy, like fantasy's political metaphor. Like Griffith infects the world with his desire, and it's a very selfish and narcissistic and centered desire, and so it's like, hey, everybody has to live with demons because I demand to be in charge. Which, consider the current moment, what demons do we have to live with because of people who just, for some reason, demand to be in charge even though they don't seem very qualified for it? It is interesting in it being unfinished that there's a question of like what's going to happen to this whole empire built on like the fragile dream of one man, because the whole world's literally been broken and restructured in the image of his dream. So, you know, if something happens and he slips up, it's been stated that the demons under his command are all just like, they're just waiting to nip at his throat. True.
True King of Mystery.
That's the worst part about reality, King of Mystery, is everything we theorize about in fiction does happen, but it happens in the ugliest, shittiest, boringest way. You know, 300% interest payday loans on your fucking Uber Eats order.
Yes, yes, yes.
We just won't have Social Security anymore.
We're gonna short the beefy 5-layer burrito.
I don't know about you, Jacob, but I've been seeing a lot of dudes on X when I go to that place, posting AI videos where like advertising agencies are so done. Here's my proof of concept ad, and it's the worst fucking just like, no dude, no one would have ever greenlit this idea.
Like stupid people will do this.
There's one that was straight up, this dude was like, I made a Tinder ad, check it out, and it was like a 30-second bit where like Timothy Chalamet was just shooting a guy, Like Timothy Chalamet was all decked out in operator gear, and he like zip lines across the street and crashes in dude's apartment and just like domes him in the face. And when he shoots him, it's like a super graphic bloody head explosion, and then like it just cuts to a screen that says Tinder, and it's like, wait, what? It's like, I thought Tinder was for hooking up. I didn't know you could hire Timothy Chalamet to kill people for you.
I mean, if anyone wants to get me killed, please have it be done by Timothy Chalamet. But like, what the fuck? All of the AI stuff is very confusing. Especially with older generations who just like cannot tell the difference. Like my mom can't tell the difference with Photoshop, let alone like AI videos. Just
like AI phone scammers against the elderly are just, that should be,
man, I know.
Some sort of regulatory body should be stopping that.
When I see my family next, I have to tell them to.
Yeah, you need to come up with like a safe word for your parents so that the AI bots don't fucking
try to steal whatever
steal shit from them. That is TechnoPoverty.
You didn't see that real article about how someone tried to hire a hitman to kill her ex, a cop on Tinder? No, but that sounds dumb.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
If you listen, man, every time you're gonna hire a hitman, it's a cop.
Balzac's the newest tyrant.
Balzac, man, I really want to find that band Balzac after this because they were fucking awesome. And now I'm realizing they were probably just named after this character.
I believe Balzac was a philosopher or a writer as well.
Ooh, better.
Chat, can somebody look that up for me? Or Jacob, could you wiki that?
Ooh.
Before the internet's gone forever.
You know?
You can get some AI wrong answers, but I want the Wikipedia's word.
You know?
Oh no. So there's like a resistance against Balzac, and Casca's not in danger, but also, oh no. Why are the dead rising? Oh, again, my controller fell asleep because of this cinematic masterpiece. So there's these ghosts that just kind of slow me down.
Bastards.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize this, but you like want to use the horizontal slash to whisk them away, not the vertical.
To like dissipate the air?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
They were trying with this one. Yeah. Something I like about this one too is that the levels and the encounters are more curated. The PS2 one after this, they kind of just like infinite spawn enemies on you, and every level is a very similar but reskinned labyrinth. Mm-hmm. It gets very tiring very fast despite the combat being somewhat improved.
That's cool.
Oh, I wasted my favorite.
And also, Shotgun Charter, you definitely aren't missing anything with AI ad blocks, but if you do recommend any good ad blockers, throw them in chat. I used to get a lot of Mr. Beast fake AI ads. Those were genuinely very fun.
Fake Mr. Beast?
Yeah, it would try to be like selling like a Bitcoin of some sort.
Oh, I did see some sort of like coin called Masa. It was supposed to be like the Mexican Aeronautics Space Agency, but it was like trying to hawk a crypto coin off of like this Cholo NASA.
Fuck, that'd be kind of...
Well, the thing is, it was clearly made by white people just doing racist stereotypes about Cholos. And I was like, why is this a coin? Why is this associated with space? What was any of this?
Yeah, what's happening?
Just like digital imperialism. Because they can't do real imperialism anymore. Everybody's too broke.
It's true.
Or scared. I'm not saying I want imperial tyrants around. I'm just saying the tyrants of the past are way less solid.
Yeah, and I'm not finding a lot with Balzac, except the Japanese rock band.
Tight.
There is Honor de Balzac, a French novelist and playwright from the early 1800s.
That may be part of the reference.
And then also a Chinese writer Balzac the Little Chinese Seamstress, a semi-autobiographical novel. But I like to think it's Balzac, the punk band, formed in 1992 in Kyoto.
Formed in 1992.
Yeah.
Maybe they inspired the name here.
That's what I'm saying. It was like, I really think that it's named after these guys because they opened up for the Misfits, you know, and it feels like they're inside that.
I think the playwright has an influence just because French medieval guy. Something I find interesting about Berserk that I've noticed online is it has a sect of fans who like it because it doesn't feel like manga, and I think it's just because it's more like European fantasy influence, so they kind of like...
Yeah, visually,
yeah.
It's playing more in their wheelhouse. Like, oh, I get this.
Cultural stereotypes.
Yeah. It's Beauty and the Beast coded. Like, yeah, I get it. I understand. I can see those are the big strong guys.
Maybe they just like big dudes handling big swords. Oh, that sounds cool, Shotgun showed.
Yeah.
Casca's okay. Phew. Thanks, revolutionary buddies. And this is right at the start of the convention arc, so Guts is like very dedicated to like being Casca's like protector and guardian right now. He's fresh on his pact. And he still wants to heal her. That's true, King of Mystery. You know what, while this cutscene's going, I'm gonna try something since the chat's out, or since the chat's not being cooperative, we'll blow up the image a bit. And it should be right to where it doesn't crop the subtitles. Chat, let me know how you feel about that. Oh, 3256 is ad nauseum the name?
That's crazy.
Interesting here too, this guy's living for a cultural ghost. Explicitly brought up right now. I was just fighting ghosts too. Ghosts, mandrakes. It's almost like fantasy, the long-running tropes of it are metaphor for consistent and recurring human feelings and experiences.
I gotta check something upstairs. Now this Balzac thing has got me checking something.
Go for it.
Be right back, chat.
Yeah, surprising for Guts to apologize like that. He's on the recovery.
この時よく思っておいたらあのお姉ちゃんがとにかく
Considerate of its place in the overall arc.
ごめんあんなこと言って
流して血に縛られる。あいつの言う通りかもしれない。
We're tied to the things we've bled for.
だからこそ血を流すだけの価値があるのに。
Find something worth bleeding for all the more. Yeah. I don't think that was in the original Dreamcast translation. I don't remember it.
あんたと一緒に生き大事の核を手に入れてその上でバルザックと交渉するこれを渡す代わりに治療薬を我々に渡せと
勝手にしな。
では連れの娘さんはここで預かっておこう
俺はあんたらを完全に信用したわけじゃない。こいつの面倒見れるのは俺だけだ。俺にしかこいつは守れない。
不良がキャスカーを襲うか心配なんだろうそれなら大丈夫だと思うよ
I also like this because it's kind of like the last time in the story Guts is kind of doing a solo protagonist thing.
血の泉の源泉だ
And I think there's just enough of that in the works. I think that's why a lot of people like the Lost Children arc. It sure is part of why I like the Lost Children arc. And I know a lot of people wish like there's maybe a bit more of the Lost Children arc in the sense that like the Lost Children arc would be like if Berserk had like a status quo monster of the week, sort of more serialized format, it'd probably be in the vein of stories like Lost Children, where it's just Guts and Puck out there in the wilderness fighting monsters. It's also why I like Black Swordsman. But it's also why I like this game. It sensibly kind of is the last time Guts realizes he can do a thing alone. I'll say more as we get through the game on that.
Just got really excited. That band Balzac, that Japanese punk band, I realized had a wristband from when I saw them.
Oh shit, so that's their logo?
Yeah, this is their logo as I was looking it up, Balzac. A little closer, but it's also signed by Jerry Only of the Misfits. Because for some reason I didn't get them to sign it. Japanese punk from the early 90s, and it's fucking awesome. Listen to it, Balzac, great band. Harry Balzac, you know, we like that. A guy at this event we used to go to named Harry Nichols, which is honestly one of the funniest names I've ever heard. Oh, Philman worked with Balzac one time? Hell yeah, nice.
Whoa, what?
Small world. Also, it's like a punk wristband, that's how old this thing is.
Whoa.
Oh, that thing, there's way too many faces on it.
It's the bear from Annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're now in the forest fighting animals infected by the Mandragone. Yeah, look at these Mandragone dogs with collars. They styling.
Yeah. Stay fresh. What the fuck is that hell chicken?
Yeah, some sort of bird.
It's got a fist.
The noise it makes is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Very much like a peacock. Peacocks make like horrendous noises.
See, I didn't even realize I could do this jump attack until right now, but like I hit jump and then I tap attack real quick afterwards.
Oh yeah. It's best by revisiting old games.
Oh, and you can follow it up with the down slash. Okay.
Oh,
I never knew you could do that. That might make a certain boss later easier. See, there's just enough mechanical finesse to keep you playing. This is a pretty short game. If I was skipping cutscenes, I could probably beat it in like 2 hours. Like if you look up long plays of this game with cutscenes, it's like 4 hours, and when you look up speedruns of this game, it's like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference.
I like that though because like they kind of understood like, okay, the game itself isn't going to be very big, but like it'll be replayable, and we'll just focus on a very like high quality presentation story.
Yeah.
But like if I were skipping cutscenes, it'd still have a nice clip and a nice pace to it.
It was also doing a really good job of just showcasing the 3D effects with those cutscenes.
Right.
Like,
it is
really
showcasing like, wow, this is the Dreamcast, 60 frames per second, full 3D models, non-pre-rendered cutscenes.
Yeah, because that is insane. This looks so good.
I don't necessarily have to kill everything, but I think there's like an invisible score counter, because if you notice every now and then I just get like a bonus item pickup.
Oh yeah.
I do need to like actually use the block button. They have two heads, I just noticed those faces are very unsettling on them.
Yeah, this whole time is all I can focus on. Everything has multiple fucking faces, and it's horrifying. That noise is so gross. I hate everything about it.
Oh crap. Whoa, QTEs before RE4. I completely forgot this game even had these.
Bear. Ooh, damn, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. I was gonna say he does some damage and then chop him in half.
So that slice I did with the bear, if you noticed, I like pulled my sword out and did it. And like if you sheath your sword and get a running start and then unsheath your sword, you do like a running like swing.
Oh, like a power up.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that was pretty sick. Yeah, the enemy sound effects also remind me of Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, there's something kind of William Birkin or Nemesis-like to the models. Oh god. Nice.
Whoa.
Maybe I should be... I'm trying to like preserve items, but maybe I should use them more. There we go. Yeah, that was the right call.
Yeah, it seems like that was much more efficient. What the fuck are these little guys? Little frogs?
They're like little... Yeah, they look like little infested frogs.
They're so cute.
It might be easier to punch these guys, actually.
Nice. Just fucking punching frogs square in the face.
That's a pretty funny animation.
No,
Oh no, oh no, oh no,
Oh god, they're
Okay.
sneaking up on you.
Okay.
The more cute frog. That's a...
That was very close. Good thing I had that fairy dust.
Damn, that's not coming fast.
Yeah. Again, they throw you in the deep and fast. Like, if you know the mechanics of the combat system, it's sensible. But like, yeah, I can see this game being very obtuse if you don't know like character action generalities.
Well, I was genuinely... It made me think of that scene in Jurassic, The Lost World.
Yeah.
The little dinosaurs. I'm like, oh yeah, but they're also little tiny. I'm like, oh, but when you get a bunch of them, then it's real dangerous.
It's also kind of true to the manga. There's like these hornet demons in a swarm that eat people alive in a very similar manner. So it did feel like that. So yeah, just the mechanics and the verge of the game feel like you're in the Berserk manga. And that whole original story side just adds to that feeling and really makes this one stand out. The Warriors one in particular is just very boring.
Right. All those frogs are getting hell in my baby.
More QTE stuff, I think. Yeah.
Fuck.
Got him.
Nice. I may have 0 depth perception, but it's still good.
Yeah, what a QTE. Like, press X to slash.
Dude, the fucking music now?
Yeah.
Like...
That's the guy who composed Forces, one of the greatest Berserk song maybe, in my opinion. Of course, it's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. I hate when I do not. I try to reduce redundant phrasing, but I'm always doing it as well.
It's a part of American culture, honestly.
Yeah, something you're more mindful of as you record yourself too. Even when you're editing other people, that's something I always thought was funny. Like editing video essays and stuff, how many like ums and likes you will cut out, or like little lip nabs. And it's funny because like it's very natural, everybody does those things, but if you don't edit that out of like a video,
Everyone loses their mind.
right, like people will go like the news anchor did something weird, they must be a reptile person. It's like, no dude, you don't understand how brainwashed like TV has been to perceive how like people are supposed to present themselves.
At times we export explosives to you.
yeah. Buddy. You know it's called acting, right?
Yeah. Nah, man. People get killed in movies, they get killed in real life, and they're brought back to other movies.
I was listening to a podcast. I think it was a new podcast in America earlier, and they were bringing up that like people's political beliefs are about as held they're held in the same extent as with like their fast food preferences. Like the culture war does that.
Yeah.
Which I agree with. I also do think, though, something not necessarily looked at or talked about in depth following that is that there are Americans who like their fast food chain choice is their religion. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And so in the same way, there's like a fickle kind of shallow libidinal impulse to it, but like that's like how people go hard. They can go hard on shallow things just because it's like, oh, this makes dopamine go pure.
Like I'm laughing about it, but I immediately think of my love of this one particular gas station. That
Yeah.
It's like,
I
like,
would do ads for them, but we're not going to do free stuff for them.
we're not
for
doing
sure.
free stuff, but like we do have a favorite chat, and just know that. And you should have a favorite.
It makes me think of like we were talking about the righteous gemstones in a previous stream, and I brought up that I find it interesting because it's not necessarily like a realistic look at evangelicals, but it is exploring this American concept of like confusing or intermixing the libidinal with the divine, or like how the libidinal is the divine for people. I think a lot of people who are atheists or non-religious are like, you know, in that analytical sense, they figure like, there's too many rules, I can't commit to all this seems like you need some real conviction for it. And so like they see religious people doing hypocrisy and they think like, wait, what are you doing? I thought you were following the rules. And I think what it is like people don't get into like religions for the rules. It's because there's some libidinal impulse in some way that they can't explain. But it's like, this thing makes me feel good, and it's my brain telling me it feels good. This is God talking to me, telling me I need to do this. Like, this is why this is my religion.
Yeah.
You know, that's why, like, you know, the core of, like, a lot of religious beliefs is, like, the, you know, or at least in America, the nuclear family religious ideal is, like, procreating and making kids. It's like, okay, this is all justification for, like, yes, my dick is correct. Like, I need to impregnate someone. Like, that is a core directive.
Yeah.
And so we can reconcile this by saying, like, there's a big omniscient force telling me this is right and this is good.
Yeah, which is just such a weird thing.
Because, like, yeah, think of, like, how many, like, you know, reactionary celebrity types or, you know, weird conversions. Like, also there's just the general, like, Russell Brand style where it's like, oh, this person's doing it because they're trying to cover their sex past history, or, like, they're about to be canceled for something major.
It's like all religious stuff where it's like half the people in church know it's fake, half the people know that it's, you know, or think it's
and
real.
then other people are just there for the sense of community, which is valid.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it covers all bases as far as just like, well, you need to...
I have more than one Catholic friend who's had some kind of encounter with someone who admits, like, you know what, I don't even know if this is all real, but I'm here because of, you know, obligation or the social community aspects of it.
Oh, for sure. Like, I was definitely pushed to try and do stuff, and I certainly wanted to believe things, but it ultimately was just like, I just don't believe any of them.
Right. And I think if you come up without like religion as like a practical material thing, it's just like, what, there's not, like, again, it's like, I know.
Nothing.
No, I found some other means of like community building or like
we're dealing with my
purpose
own
exploration. Yeah.
Yeah, internal. This is really all it was. It was just like being good with yourself. Yeah. I used to also be bored sitting in church and I love it though. My dad would bring me to weird churches.
Right, I find it interesting because I remember church being boring too, and I feel like the answer a lot of adults had to that was like, we're gonna go to like a mega church or a cool church with like rock music and like superstars and stand-up comedians.
Yep. Dude, I remember we went and saw a Christian comedian, went to a Christian rock concert. That was funny. It's a lot of, it's an interesting world for sure. And I'm very happy that there are people who find happiness in that, because really that's all they're really looking for. Not just the ones who abuse it.
As long as it's not being used to like do hate crimes or mobilize bad ideas.
Yeah, or finance horrible things and atrocities.
Right.
Like, again, it's not so much the religion, it is the organization.
Which again, yeah, that's more structural, organizational.
Old white groups, we usually don't trust them. I did love having the snacks after church, though. Let's be real. The ladies with all the snacks after a sermon were incredible godsend.
So that's the interesting thing about the magic in Berserk too, is like, yeah, magic taking the world, demons are real, and like a lot of the holy officials are corrupt because they've been operating in a magic-free world. But as magic invades and the things get tougher, it's like there's a need for like emotional and spiritual intelligence to deal with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's a shift.
I believe the Crusader Kings, one of the best stats you can have for your characters as far as like so that the good leaders is like a coping mechanism. Like just healthy ways of understanding and processing things.
Right.
And I feel more and more as an adult, like, yeah, understand emotional intelligence. It gets written off as like soy or feminized, but like, no, dude, like you feel things. You seek out media that makes you feel things.
Yeah, right.
Even if you think you're finding like objective and like non-Spielbergian exploitation stuff, even though, if you're scared of Steven Spielberg, that just proves the point. Like if like you weren't like if you don't like that he makes you feel gooey and emotional inside, it's like, yeah, that's you admitting surrender. Like if it wasn't true, you'd be able to watch his movies and just turn it off.
Yeah. Donuts at church, man, great. We used to get Krispy Kremes too at the factories where you can see where they're made. Gotta love that. Best way of getting out of church though, going and helping with Sunday school. Because then you just hang out with a bunch of kids who just want to play with dolls and shit. Like, hell yeah, I don't have to listen to an old man talk. Let's do it, kids. Let's play with some blocks.
Oh? Have I been dehumanizing people? Someone in power was telling me somebody wasn't human so that I would dispose of them? That surely doesn't happen in real life ever.
Yeah, certainly not dehumanizing those who want to be the enemy.
Oh, so you just ran past all those bears I had to fight?
Yeah, right. That ain't a true path.
Yeah, glad I got that out of the way for you. Bastard.
Oi, 聞いた通りだ。大樹はどこだ？おい。
以前、この村にはニコという少年がいました。
This boy appears in an actual panel of the manga. That music. Chat, this music.
彼は物狂いで、時には畑の作物に手を出したりしたこともありましたが、根は善良でおとなしく、決して人を傷つけることはありませんでした。たとえ村人たちがからかい半分に彼を石や棒で打ち据えたとしても、ニコはその日の食べ物にありつけたことに喜び、空が晴れ渡っていることに感激し、どんな苦しいことがあっても微笑みを絶やしはしませんでした。ところがある冬、ニコは飢えと寒さで生死の境をさまよっていました。その年は例年にない大凶作で、誰一人彼に食べ物を恵む者はいませんでした。そしてニコは最後の力を振り絞って教会にたどり着いたのです。でも私は気づいてやれなかった。
What up, L-Man X?
当 叩く音は信念の鐘の音にかき消された。私が見つけた時にはもう
Oh, I think we got
何
chat
も悪い
back.
ことはしていないの。
Oh?
他の人たちと少し異なるだけで
Oh yeah? Yep.
蔑
Popping
まれ
up.
続けた彼。なぜニコは死ななければならなかったのでしょう。
Okay, guys, say penis on chat. Fill the screen with penis. Let us know it's working.
本当に
Or vaginas, that too. Let's those people opportunity.
L-Man, have you read
普通の
Berserk?
少年だったのに。
ここのマンドラゴラ付きたちも同じだって言いたいのか。だがもう人畜無害ってわけにはいかね
Yeah, Shaka and Shota got the
え。
right
それを
idea.
全員バラ
Hell
しちまう。
yeah.
あなた方が知らずにタブーを犯したからです。
Oh, I broke a taboo, eh?
苗を引き抜いたり、こ
Chat
ちら
is
から
best,
危
I
害を
appreciate
加え
it.
なければ
Be
決して攻撃
nice
し
to
た
the
りしません。
plants is the lesson I'm picking up here.
けれど人々は彼らを
Also,
迫
this
害し
nun model, I'm digging.
化け物とあざける、排除しようとします。
Something about like the white.
そしてバルザック、町のためだと言っては領地内のマンドラゴラ付きを借り集め、
Oh, so
まるで
they're
虫
like
けら
the
のように
victims
そ
of
の
a
命を奪って
plague, and he's just harvesting their bodies for science.
暴力という形でしかあがなえない人々。私には彼らの方がよほど救いがたい危険な存在に思えるのです。お願いします。この村を、私たちをそっとしておいてください。私たちは今のままで十分満ち足りています。でもこのままほっといたらマンドラゴラ付きがどんどん増えてっちゃうじゃない。
Did you read it or watch a show? I'm curious. I haven't watched the most recent show that came out after the movie re-releases, but the animation looked quite bad.
あの町に住む人たちと
I would prefer more playable games like this, honestly. The Berserk finale is just a character action game on the PS5.
悲しみ、
Hey, probably do real well.
野心、あるいは愛着なのかもしれません。人としてのそんな思いがゆえに血塗られた歴史を繰り返していく彼らと、たとえ姿
Yeah, it
形が
did
変
King
わ
of
っても
Mystery. If I
その
remember right,
姿
it
から
just
解き
it
放
just
たれ
starts at the conviction
わ
arc.
らべのように微笑むあの子たち。あなたにはどう見えて？
One of the most shows of all time. It happened, all right.
It certainly did.
Oh, look, he's
姿
peaceful.
も違う。
Murder, blam, blam, blam.
そいつはもう人間とは呼べないぜ。人間ってのは
Yeah, Shaka and Shota, the guy who did the score to the 90s anime, also did the music for the game.
悪いが俺は人間なんだ。
You'll notice some of the tunes are the
自
same,
分
like
の思いの
Forces.
ために血を流すまでだ。こっちの都合で申し訳ねえが、大樹の核手やらをいただいていくぜ。
Damn.
Oh
黙って
shit.
渡してくれるよ。手荒な真似をしねえ。
Guts, what are you doing?
My buddy.
No, I haven't seen the bloopers. Was that on the physical disc re-release they did?
今日は扉が下ろさない。怖いケツ突っ張ったく善人面してとんでもない悪党だよなあのおっさん。What？ 俺はおもちゃじゃないっちゅうの。それにしてもなんとか早いとここから抜け出さないと日も暮れたし、このままだとそろそろ。
No, if anything, I've learned not to be afraid of ghosts during this whole fantasy block we've been doing. Ghosts usually want to guide you.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's bad ones that will possess you as well. You can be possessed by a bad idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What is that?
Damn.
Gasp. In the night, he is real. Yeah, puck switching between the cartoonish and the serious form. Oh no. It's the boy.
容器をたどってきてみればよ。お前は楽園の剣士。
Yo, I'm just gonna straight up spoil it, but King of Mystery, isn't it pretty sweet when Guts is on Zod for the Kushan Emperor part?
面白い。どうやら楽しみが一つ増えたようだな。
Yeah, this dude's crazy. And only got one horn too.
He's scary. Yeah, like how Guts has only one eye. There's been some interesting stuff going on with Zod that has yet to be resolved or fully answered, which I'd be curious to get more answers on as far as who he was before the demon and why he has certain things he has. Luckily, he broke us out. Nice.
Fuck yeah.
King of Mystery, I did not get to that bit in the Warriors game.
I mean, I haven't played the Warriors game.
It was too boring. I got to the Zod fight, the first Nosferatu Zod fight during the Golden Age era. I remember getting to that. I think I'm a little after that. I haven't gotten through all the Golden Age stuff in the Matsuo. Or maybe I did. I kind of just dropped it, and when I forget what I picked up instead. I tried to quit Street Fighter 6 and just went back to Street Fighter 6. Ooh, he's got some stuff going on.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, the thing about that Musou too is the cutscenes were just the golden age movies. Like it was just the movies cut up between the levels, which I didn't mind, but also, again, it's not this. It's not these articulated and curated presentations.
Yeah, like they put a little more effort into it, a little bit more what you're wanting.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of lazy, as King of Mystery says. Oh, who is this? Balzac's daughter.
Damn. What's up, baby? Peace out, Philly man.
See you, Philly man.
Thanks for swinging by. Yeah, that's
Whoa.
the fuck? Half ghost, half human? Don't eat it.
It's a baby.
Eat the baby.
そこで何をしている貴様その核
Oh,
は
it's a
私の
core.
ものだよこせ このままでは危険だ早くターレットを安全な場所へ急げ
Oh no, the baby. That's why you don't want kids.
The Mandrake is activating all the prisoners.
Like, oh no.
Very William Birkin faces.
Yeah. Man, I can definitely see Halo taking inspiration from this.
There is something kind of flood-like to him, yeah. Berserk also did kind of like... like in the Black Swordsman arc, there's one of the generals of the king. I remember gets like the tentacle arm thing, and it did remind me of like the way Resident Evils do the thing with the tendrils.
Mm-hmm. They love their tendrils.
I don't know, visually, I think Berserk just influenced that look, and so yeah, it is coming back around here in this game. Yeah, I don't think there's a single character in Berserk I'd want to be. Do not want to live in this fictional universe at all.
Yeah. I was gonna say you maybe want to be the author, but I don't even know if you want to be that.
I mean, he's no longer with. Like you'd be gone.
Well, there you go.
どうして教会にこんなものが。
お前はここで待ってろ。
私も行くよ。
一人の方が都合がいいのさ。
You can have as many as you want, 3256. I don't know how familiar you are with Berserk, but there's dudes with many faces. Okay, you know what? We're gonna take a break. We're gonna pause right here before we go exploring these caves. It is currently 9:07. We'll be back in
like 9:20?
Yeah, we'll be back at 9:20. Once again, this is TechnoPoverty. I'm Henry.
I'm Jacob.
And we are playing Berserk. The Sword of the Berserk Guts Rage was the original title. I forget what the translated subtitle is for it, but it is the 1999 Dreamcast game. Part of Kentaro Miura's fantasy epic, Berserk. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of it soon.